Good morning and welcome to the new edition of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. Recently, we saw the elections in Israel where corruption tainted Prime Minister Netanyahu won hands down to show that the national security, that the protection of the country is one of the most important features that motivates the citizen. And three more elections have taken place since then. And all three have a capacity to alter the political scene globally. Of course, the impact in those countries where the elections took place is un uh, election took place is absolutely clear, and there is no doubt that they would alter the socio-economic scene in those countries. But as I said, these elections would alter the global political scene as well. The first is India, where the elections were finished this week, and on 23rd, after 2 days, we'll know the exact results. But the exit polls and the average of all the polls show that Prime Minister Modi is continuing the hold on the government and the minds of the people. And the most important thing is that despite all the charges, despite the fact that all the opposition joined hands because of his actions to protect the country, people had trust in him. And notwithstanding all the complaints, all the propaganda, all the ganging up of the media, both in India and internationally, he has won. The Times' infamous statement of calling him divider in chief, of economists calling him the destroyer, and the abuses hurled at him have not swayed the mood of the country. Now, why is it important? It's most important because ethno-religious dog whistles had no effect. The opposition, the Western media, was thinking that he is indulging in ethno-religious dog whistle, and that had no effect. And as a matter of fact, people have been saying, like again the notorious James Crabtree in foreign policy, that he'll change the constitution. As if James Crabtree has insight into the working of the mind, or maybe he is an astrologer. Who knows? Till now, and even the Congress leader, Pranab Mukherjee, the former president, has said that these elections were the most perfect elections that have ever taken place. Let's not deny that till now, Modi has shown no tolerance for riots, and there have been no riots in the country at all. However, there is a fear, although an unfounded fear, that he might make the lethargic bureaucracy come out of his self-imposed or politicians enforced incapability to work. And one very interesting thing took place recently. His main representative in Uttar Pradesh, one of the largest provinces of India, has gone ahead with asking the police to kill, if need be, the lawbreakers, following the policy of Philippine President Duterte. And everybody was saying, well, this is bad and the police encounters are staying. But the High Court of Punjab and Haryana came up yesterday with a very great judgment, and they said other chief ministers in India, the premiers are called the chief ministers, should take a cue from Adityanath Yogi and order their police to act in similar manner so that citizenry is protected. So this shows that not only the common people, but even the higher echelons in judiciary, which is supposed to be one of the perfect institutions in India, want the safety of the common people and the safety of the country. And then it is a reaction to the liberal policies. Let's not forget that. The so-called liberal, democratic, society annihilating policies have been rejected by the people in India. The second is Australia, where the Conservative Prime Minister Scott Morrison shocked the world. It was a real shock to the people. He won Saturday elections despite the fact that the Labour Party was leading the polls for months, not for days, not for days. And Scott Morrison won. All those exit polls were thinking like at the time of Trump that he'll be defeated, and he has won. Now, Modi is pro-Trump. Similarly, Morrison is staunchly pro-Trump. And Trump knows him as a guy who stopped the boats. You know, when the asylum seekers were going to Australia, the Australian Navy, at his order, stopped the boats and let them not enter Australia. Same is what Trump is doing. Same is what Modi did with Rohingyas and even threw them out, and the new policy has come up called NRC, National Register of Citizens. The Australian election was also billed as climate change election, because Scott Morrison doesn't believe that the political action can undo climate change. It resembles Trump. Here there's a bit of difference between Modi and Scott, and that is that Modi is more climate change oriented than Trump or Scott Morrison are. And you would be thinking of the third election. The third election is the Ukrainian president, Volodymyr Zelensky. He was elected, and yesterday he was to take oath. And the first action he took was disbanded parliament. Shocked. But that's, as I said, the change in the global political scene. He's a TV star with no political experience. And he says that his first priority is to end the war with Russia. Wow, imagine it. Again, pro-Trump, anti-EU, anti-Canada. Because Canada and EU and reluctant Trump have been opposing Russia and supporting the former government of Ukraine that was at war. But the new president said, no war with Russia. Now, if there's no war with Russia, then the missile defense in Europe has no meaning. If there's no war with Russia, then All that talk of the Russian bear marching down Europe has lost all its meaning. So the political scenario changes again. So these three elections have very clearly shown that the people as a whole do not like war, but they want protection of their country. B. They are not swayed by the so-called liberal rhetoric. They are aware that the liberals have destroyed the families, have destroyed the system that has sustained the universe for the last thousands of years, and have been countenancing and encouraging the rise of those issues which should not have been there. They had a role to play at one time, the liberal ideas had, but they are no longer valid. People through the world have changed their attitude and are no longer dumb-driven cattle. And by all their populist talk, the liberals can only deceive themselves. Now, another way this is going to affect the globally is all the three leaders, along with Trump, are anti-migration. They don't mind people going out of their country, but they don't want people coming in their country. So emigration is okay. Immigration is strictly no. All three, along with Trump, are against political asylum seekers and so-called refugees who might be the Trojan horses for fundamentalists, whether Islamist or of any other color. Thirdly, all the three, along with Trump, are strong nationalists and want to build their own economy, opposed to the, suzerainty, I'll call it, or the economic overlordship of China or USA or European Union. So all three, along with Trump, are heralding a new world order, which is conservative, which is strongly nationalistic, which is against percolation of Trojan horses and fundamentalist ideas which are alien to the local concepts. And all this is a severe blow to the liberal, democratic pretenders of the custodians of law and order. So these three elections, if we take in consideration with the earlier elections in Israel, Austria, Hungary, and even in Germany, and also looking at what's going to take place in England with the exit of Elizabeth May as the Prime Minister, and maybe coming Jeremy Corbyn. The whole world is changing its course, and the political scene is going to change beyond recognition. Maybe these three elections this week herald that change and show clearly that the liberal order is not acceptable, that illegal immigrants are not acceptable, that economic suzerainty is and slavery of some is not acceptable, that each country desires to maintain its identity, its individuality. So the whole world looks at these elections, as I said, with the earlier elections of Austria and Israel, as a portent of the change. But I assure you, the Western media still is behaving like Rip Van Winkle, fast asleep, incapable of imagining the change. For them, it's a nightmare, and they wish that it was not there. But for the patriotic people of those countries, it is maybe a dream come true. Thank you.